Hey, so we are back in Spiral Abyss, this time on floor 12. This is going to be a full guide for floor 12, not a free-to-play guide because this was not happening with a free-to-play team. So I did end up using 4 stars as best as I could, so hopefully you can kind of replicate these kind of teams. As usual, the left side of the screen is going to show you the floor layout, and the right side is the total number of enemies. So with the first half of floor 12, you can kind of do everything with this Sucrose comp here. So right at the start, we're going to go over to the bottom left, attack this Potioneer, and the 4 enemies in the front are all going to run over to you, except for the Potioneer. The Potioneer tries to back away from you, so that's why we start with him first. And then from here, we just pop all our ults, group everybody up with Sucrose, and we can hit all, like 6 enemies I think it is, just all together right there, just doing tons of damage to all of them, and it's amazing. You can do this with any animo character, if you have a Venti, if you have a Kazuha, any like grouping ability of any character. You can use them here. It's going to do wonderfully here. So right now I'm just building up all of my ults to make sure I have it again, because the second wave is pretty much the exact same thing. We're going to start again on this left side here to group up all the enemies. All the enemies on this floor charge at you, so it's not really that big of a deal. But once again, Bennett ult, Sucrose ult, and then Xiangling and Xingqiu. Once again, makes pretty quick work of these guys. This comp really does well throughout all of the first halves. The second half is where things get a little bit tricky, especially at the end, but we'll get there when we get there. So once again, we are just cleaning up these guys right here, and then we are going to move on to the second half. If you want to build up your ults, you can, because the second half is the Genki, or the second chamber is a Genki. So I'm just preparing for that one. And then we're moving on to the second half. The second half is much harder, but it's not really that bad. So we're going to be dealing with an Eye of the Storm. When was the last time we fought this thing? This was like, I don't even know, 1.1, 1.2? It was very early. So here I'm using this like very strange overload comp, which is not very good because overload in general is not very good. But here we have new enemies. I feel like you already know how to fight Eye of the Storm. If you can use a freeze comp here. It does pretty well, I would say. That's how I did it when I did my like actual run of it. So here we have new enemies, the Spectre. Now the Spectres have a unique thing about them, is that whenever they take a certain amount of damage, they will build rage, essentially, and then when they have a full rage gauge, they will hit harder, be more annoying, all that kind of stuff. But that is a whale problem that I am too free to play to understand, because that never happens. I think you have to do like 30 or 25% of their HP to actually get a stack of the rage, but that never happens because this team is really weak. So we move on to the second wave once we kill all of those guys, and it's going to be the exact same thing but the Geo version of it. So we're going to be dealing with a Lateral. He has a Geo shield. You can break that with Geo attacks or an overload reaction, which is what I'm doing here. And then we have the Geo Spectres. Now the Geo Spectres are a lot more annoying than the other ones because they do this attack. They shoot like rock bullets at you that home in on your character, and the worst thing about them is that they stagger. So to get around that, bring a shielder. You're going to have so much of a better time with a shielder because you do not have to deal with the stupid rock guys. Because while you're fighting the Lateral, he's going to be taking up like a lot of the screen. So the attacks from the Spectres, you're probably going to miss, or you're just not going to see them at all because the Lateral's in the way. But with a shield, you don't have to worry about it. And they do like deceptively a lot of damage. It stacks up really, really fast. And especially if you're just constantly getting staggered, it's just really annoying. But this is all just the same thing other than that. So I just skip ahead until he dies because it takes me forever to do. And we're going to move on to the second chamber. Second chamber? Right. Yes. Okay, so here in the second chamber, this first half, like I said, is the Genki fight. Again, for the first 10 seconds, you cannot damage his boss, so he just wastes 10 seconds, which is awesome. Good boss design. So once you take him down to about 30% HP, I think it is. No, down by 30. Once he reaches 70% HP, he's going to go into his second phase. It's very easy to tell when he goes into his second phase. Also, when he's transitioning, he gets invulnerability. really good boss design, by the way. And it's really easy to tell he like leaps up in the air, gets surrounded by a bunch of wind. This right here, that's when he moves on to his second phase. So in his second phase, he basically gets this like clone of himself right there. So he himself deals anemo damage, and his clone, I believe, deals cryo damage. And they're going to be attacking in tandem with each other. Usually he attacks first and then his clone attacks. But like I said, this team, Vaporize, Xiangling, Xingqiu, does really, really quick work with this guy for the most part. Also, their attacks are pretty easy to dodge. Like I said, it's always he attacks first, for the most part. He attacks first, and then his clone attacks first. This attack right here, you can ult through it to iframe through it, or you can just get out of the way entirely. It does a lot of damage. It has a huge amount of range, so be careful for that. That swiping attack right there, he always attacks, and then like a second later, his clone attacks. So you dodge the first one, wait a bit, and then dodge the second one. It's very consistent, very easy to dodge. Again, I do skip ahead because it's the exact same fight again and again and again, same attacks, whatever. So we move on to the second half here with this very bad overload team. We're going to be dealing with a Mirror Maiden in the front and a Cryo System Mage in the back. Right at the start, I go for the System Mage in the back because if you can stagger her as fast and as much as you can, she's never going to put up her shield, which is really good for us because that shield is very annoying. So the Mirror Maiden's attack, you saw that first one, she does like 3 like flower bloom things on the ground. Get out of the way of that, like the actual radius of it. You cannot be within the radius of it because then she will mark you. The entire thing of the Mirror Maiden is that she is blind. She does not see where your character is. She cannot see you, so she has to mark your character. And then when your character is marked, then she can see you, and then she just becomes way more annoying. So that triple bloom attack right there, you cannot shield through it, you cannot iframe through it, you cannot whatever else. I don't know. As long as you're within that radius, you're gonna get marked, and that sucks. So just don't get marked. Don't get marked, forehead. Just dodge. Or I guess just get out of the way. And then the other one, she just does a singular bloom. Usually it's centered on her character, and you just have to get out of the way of that. So I skip ahead to when I get marked unfairly, by the way. I should not have gotten hit by that. But I did want to show this off. It wasn't a mistake. It wasn't a mistake. I wanted to show it off. So just to show like the difference that she does when she actually marks your character. She does that like cage attack that locks you in place. Very annoying. Then she teleports away. She'll do this attack right here where she just does like this, I don't know, cone of death. I don't know. And also she does not get staggered anymore. So like even with overload, she does not get staggered. So just don't get marked and you can constantly CC her and you'll be fine. Hopefully. Hopefully that happens. And we can move on to the third chamber. And this third chamber is surprisingly tame. At least the first half is. We're just fighting 2 Ruin Guards. When was the last time? When was the last time we had floor 12 with just 2 Ruin Guards? I feel like that was 1.2 again. It was a very long time ago. So again, really quick work with this Sucrose team. Right here I'm just building all of my ults because I didn't have them from the Magu Kenki. So once I get them all up, we're just kind of wailing on them. But again, it is just Ruin Guards. You're on floor 12. I feel like you know how to fight Ruin Guards. There's nothing really special here. So at some point, I'm going to skip ahead to when they die. And then we're going to move on to the absolute ridiculousness that is the second half. Here in the second half, we are going to be fighting a world boss guy. Whoa, what is his name? Perpetual Mechanical Array, I think that's what this guy is. So if you want to, you could practice on the world boss, but I just feel like it's not worth it. Unless you're a super whale, you're not going to 9-star this rotation spiral list. This guy, there's a reason why we never have bosses as the very last enemy in Spiral Abyss, because they are level 100, they have damage reduction, and they are so stupid tanky. I have no idea how anybody is supposed to be able to beat this in time unless you're a super whale. Even if you're like a baby whale, like a dolphin, I don't even think you're going to be able to do it. It's so ridiculous. He telegraphs a lot of his attacks very easily. They're very easy to dodge. Not really that much of a big deal there. Like, yeah, I don't have a lot of damage on this team, but even still, it's so ridiculous. So the stupidest part about this guy is that after a while, he'll go into this weird phase where he summons these ruin babies. There's going to be one ruin baby that has like a aura around him. They're like little symbols circulating underneath of his character, that is the one that you need to kill. That's the only one that you can kill. That's the only one that can get damaged. Everything else is going to try to kill you or just be annoying, but you need to kill him to be able to deal damage to the boss. Really good design, by the way. Should definitely exist in Spiral Abyss when everything is time gated. So yeah, that's the reason, is that he has so many iframes. He has this phase where you just cannot deal damage to him and you have to kill his stupid baby. How is this fair? I don't think anybody can 9-star this. I can't even 6-star this. I can always 6-star floor 12. This one, I can barely 3-star. And it's not even worth it to try to go for 6 stars. It's not worth it. So I'm like very, very slowly whittling away at this guy. But once we kill this baby, he's going to be in his vulnerability state, and it's actually like a pretty decently sized window, but you still have to kill the baby to get to that point, which is really stupid. And then at that point, you just try to deal as much damage as you can to him. So I got kind of unlucky with this one, that I got the one that tries to evade you as much as possible. So like, yeah, right here I kill him, and he's down for, I don't even know how long. But he's down for like a decent amount of time, and you just have to do as much damage as you can, and then it resets. So I'm just gonna skip ahead because it's the exact same fight. And actually, with this fight, I don't even beat it. I cannot even beat it. I'm gonna skip ahead here to, I think it's like 2 minutes, and like 2 minutes left on the time, he still has 50% HP. And it's not like this team is the worst team. This is an okay team. But like, he still has so much HP. I don't understand how anybody is supposed to do this. So I just let all my characters die, because it just doesn't matter. But unfortunately, that is where I'm going to leave you, with like barely any stars. If I think we got like 1. But I'm going to leave you here with the artifacts of my characters if you're interested in that. Otherwise, if you enjoyed the video, hope you're having a fantastic day. Like and subscribe if you want. I would really appreciate it. Tickle my bell if you want, and I will see you in the next one. Where hopefully, the Spiral list is better, but I can only think it's going to get worse. Bye-bye.